Oh, hey, what's going on? Anatomy, kids. My daughter's milk cup right here. She just went to bed. 7:45 p.m. Just living my best life out here. Um, let's start this screencast up about bones. We'll finish that and then move on to some other slightly more interesting things. No, it's not true. These things will all be very interesting. I don't know what I just did. I broke everything. This one's titled More Bones. Ooh, that's a lot of W's and O's. How good I look today. Because it's Tuesday. Shaved my head. I look great. I just got done almost heave crying to the movie Onward, so enjoy that. Feel free to watch that when you need to. We're going through parts of long bones, and then that's pretty much it. I think this whole thing is just parts of long bones. Look at this fresh definition. You're like, hey, I should totally write down what that says, because I write definitions because I'm a mega nerd. My name is Izzy Demarest. Um, That is the most ridiculous definition ever. Part of a long bone that develops from a center of ossification distinct from the diaphysis. Oh, cool, thanks. That's super helpful. That's the worst. It literally is just the fancy anatomy way of saying it's the end of the bone. The epi, meaning after or outside. If I didn't talk to you about Epimetheus, Prometheus's brother, afterthought. So epiphysis, yeah, that was good, is the end of the bone, right? It's the weird part on a long bone. Here, look, I have a picture. So if you're looking at this humerus, in case you can't read, right, there's two, a proximal and a distal epiphysis, which are the areas that are distinctly different from the main part, the diaphysis, as it's called, the shaft of the bone. Hey, look, that's what it says, diaphysis of the shaft. And your bones have a covering around them. Don't believe me? Next time you are eating something with a bone in it, take a look, and there will be a thin membranous covering around the outside of that bone. You've probably housed it when you're just mauling chicken wings because you're just a terrible person and you just eat like an ogre, an onion. It's got layers. When you're doing that, like however disgusting it is, look at it, right? Look at if you're eating a piece of chicken because you have big Easter Sunday plans. You're just going to house chicken wings. On the outside of each one of them, there's a covering, a thin, almost like saran wrap covering on the outside of it. Might get cooked away depending on how they're cooked, but it should still be there for you to see it. It's gross. Just like most things, once you wrap something in your body, it's wrapped and then kind of kept separate from other ones, right? Like we talked about how your organs, you can see them, I'm pointing them right here. You have like a pericardial cavity, which you have a visceral and parietal pericardium. We talked about those kind of things before. Periosteum, outside covering. If there's one named periosteum on the outside, there's probably one named endosteum on the inside, because that's how things work, outside and inside. So if you were to smash open one of those chicken wing bones, you might see it. It's not really that easy to find. And we did find articular cartilage, which is why it was so important for us to learn that term, because it is the white end part of the bone. I'm going to reference chicken wings a lot today, so feel free to just keep that in mind. Right, the rubbery thing at the end of a piece of chicken is articular cartilage. Ooh, fancy. Oh, look, I have a picture. So you did see them when we did that lab where we just smashed bones or try to find pieces of tissue, right? There was white articular cartilage at the end of that bone. I told you you could find it there, but no one chose to find it because you're all just too busy hitting bones with hammers because you're majorly creepers. We did talk about this already. Yellow bone marrow is inside long bone, stores fat. I think in the last one I referenced the fact that if you give a marrow bone to a dog, it's normally a part of a piece of a femur, which is a long bone. There's a lot of fatty tissue in it. Speaking of, where's my dog? And then red bone marrow creates red and white blood cells. You don't find red bone marrow in long bones. It's normally in the shorts. Yay. And then there is something called compact bone. So the end of the long bones at both the epiphyses, epiphyses, that sounds really good. There is spongy bone, right? It looks like a sponge. It is hard, like a bone, but it's very porous. And then the inside part is compact bone, which is that like that very what you would probably picture in your mind as a bone part of a bone, which is like a very dense, not porous piece of a bone that holds it together. And then there's like some weird things that go up and down. I wouldn't pay attention to any of these things because we're never going to go through them again. But there, if you got to get stuff from one place to another in a bone, there has to be a movement up and a movement over. So that's what those things are. Feel free to forget they existed, but hey, look, here they are, right? So again, if you're moving materials around a bone or an area, you got to be able to get stuff in and out, and that's what it is. Like I said before, epiphysis on the outside, here and here, and then you'll have, right, on the inside part, when you were smashing bones, there was that yellow bone marrow cavity on the inside, that open part of a bone. So that's right in this compact bone area. So this is compact here and here, and then this is like an open space filled with this marrow. This is the same general concept, just a weird side picture. Turns out when you were like going from fertilized egg and sperm to a human being, you at one point in time were made mostly of hyaline cartilage, and then that's kind of how your bones were shaped. And then after that point in time, you became ossified. You became a bony creature. So all your bones start out as endochondral, meaning they start out as chondro means cartilage. They start out as hyaline cartilage, and then you develop from that. Weirdly, I don't care about any of this stuff, so feel free to look at it. You do grow from an area out, and then it's kind of like your skin, right? Where you have the bottom layer of your skin, there's stuff growing, and as you move closer to the surface, that stuff is not. As you're getting away from the growth plate, or the area of growth of your bone, it is less and less living than it is as you are close to that, right? This is what I was talking about. So if you didn't piece this together, this is the distal part of a femur. So this is a knee right here, and this is a tibia and a fibula, right? And then these growth plates here are kind of how your bone grows outward away from them. And this is an area where there's a lot of growth happening, a lot of mitosis going on, a lot of functionality, and then this is like just straight calcium deposits living their best life. If you want to see what that looks like in another picture, there it is, and that's super microscopic, right? So that, and then your bones actually recycle. I'm gonna say that it's like every 7 years of your life, but I literally have no clue, so let's look it up because I got nowhere to be. How often? Oh, I can type. Yeah. Bones in your body regenerate every 10 years. Look at me. I said 7. That's what this thing says, but it says 10. Curiosity.com. Very, very fancy website. Look, I said 7. I'm almost like I'm probably the best person alive. It's aggressive. I'm just going to scroll through this, and you're just going to watch me scroll through this. Oh, look. Hey, Harry Potter boy. Rupert Grint, whatever. So you have to then go through and then fix those parts of your bone. And that is what these osteoblasts in class do. So to recycle, you need to take and break apart bones, structures, and then remake them, right? So osteoblasts in class do that. An osteocyte is just your cell. If you want to see what that looks like in a real fancy photo that I found on the internet, like look at this diagram. I can explain to you no part of what's happening in this, for I have not thought about these things in 20 years. But here's an osteoblast. That's what I got. Also, if you want to see it in a regular, real fancy, what's going on with this person up here? Are they like nudies tooties? Why do they not have pants on? They got just shoes on, but no pants? What is happening there? Same general concept. Literally no clue what's going on here. But if you want to see it for real, here you go. These are osteoblasts and osteocytes, so this is an area where there is some growth happening. And that's what it looks like in your body. Hey, that's the end. Man, I look good. I miss you guys. I should probably have clicked that off.